never say they want it. Girls can't never say how. Girls can't never say they need it. Girls can't never say nah, nah. Girls can't never say they want it. Girls can't never say how. Girls can't never say they need it. Girls can't never say nah. Oh nah. Give it to me like you need it, baby. Want you to hear me screaming, have it breathing. I don't need a reason, baby. I want it till you get right. I can get it to you right, baby. I wanna be healing. I can be real good. Please don't get these feelings. Hey, I need some love.
Address Whitney, because I'm gonna tell you something. Whitney came back in here, and Whitney mentioned Shaka Khan again. So I don't know what is going on with Shaka Khan. Whitney keeps mentioning Shaka Khan to me, and she said something else about Shaka Khan. It was like yesterday, and late over in the night, I started writing about it yesterday. And then I dreamt, and I saw Whitney, and she mentioned Monica, the singer Monica. I think she knew Monica. I'm not sure if she ever worked with the singer Monica before. Thank you, Dwayne. She also mentioned Jill Scott. So I wonder, something going on with Jill Scott and Monica. I know last time I checked, was it earlier this year? Or last year when Jill Scott married the man who they were going through a divorce, and the man wanted to take some of her money. So I don't know if it's that or some other kind of drama or trauma we don't know about. But Whitney keeps talking about, she wants to talk to Shaka Khan. So I wrote some of what she said about Shaka Khan. I mean, well, it's a lot she wrote about her, but out of respect, I'm not going to get into everything in public, like she said about Shaka Khan, but she keeps coming to me about Shaka Khan. I don't know what's going on. I know Shaka Khan is still alive. Shaka Khan is still doing shows. But she mentioned Warner Brothers and Sony. So, she was close to Monica and what's her name? Brandy. She brought those up. Hold on, I have to get my tea. Hold on, if you want to, look at you see how pretty my gown is? You see? See how pretty my gown? You see how it's got all the sparklies? I love. It's got the sparklies up here. Hold on, let me see if I can find this Whitney Houston one. Oh God, I hate not do shit like this. Gosh. Y'all, if you can hold on for a minute, just give me a minute. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can find the paper. I just goddamn had it. It's very important. Hold on. I'm so mad at myself because I don't lose my papers. I know it's right here in my face. You know what? I believe that goddamn thing done hid my fucking paper because I was talking. Isn't one of the brothers' name? What's Whitney's two brothers' names? One, his name's Michael. And what's the one's name that married to Pat? Because I had wrote the goddamn shit down. And I believe that thing is playing tricks on me. Oh, God damn it. What's I hit my candle. Can you tell me because I was talking about him. Do you know which brother, what's Whitney's brothers? It's irritating me. I'm mad at myself when I make mistakes or something, but I think I'm gonna come up with this paper. Watch this here. We get off this live. I'm gonna come up with this paper. Gary. That's the thing was just fucking with me. It's the little bitty thing, this damn imp. You know what? Let me do my libations. Oh, you better give me my paper back! The thing in my paper, I know he hid my goddamn paper. The imp that be around Gary ass. Honey. Oh. He stole my paper. Oh, that little fucker. I didn't know he told me. I could hear him laughing now. He stole my paper. Let me tell you what happened. Oh, my goddamn candle. I was looking at goddamn Gary, because when they said I made the mistake and I apologized on YouTube, I said, okay. They were saying just one brother's a singer, but I realized both of them sing. Gary has sang backup for Whitney Houston. Tell me if I'm wrong, because I checked it, High Trinity, and Gary was not the front singer. He's married to Pat. But the other one, Michael, is it Michael, the one that was a front singer and a solo singer? That's the one that would be on stage, but it's behind some. I just fucking wrote it, and I know that thing came in. The imp did that goddamn shit. Yeah, Gary was married to Pat, and the imp is the one, like a little bitty damn midget demon that was talking about Gary, and that he have Gary on that goddamn heroin and have Gary on that motherfucking powder. So when I said it was the one that was a singer that was mad because he could not have a career like Whitney. He was undercover fucking man in the industry to try to get deals, and he was jealous of his sister. And then they said, no, you're talking about Michael. That's not Gary that's married. It's Gary married to Pat. No, I'm talking about both of their goddamn ass. They might not have both of them might not have had dicks in their mouth, but they had dicks laying around the side of their mouth. Okay, so we're going to put it like that. Both of them were jealous of her. Both of them wanted a career in the limelight and in singing and in music. And I'm seeing the one Michael. I don't see him lately. Do you see that thing? What the fuck? Something just flew in here. I know they're fucking with me. I know they are. Those things are so goddamn mischievous. After I say what the fuck you tell me to say, then I want you to get the fuck out my house and get the fuck out around me. Yes, they both were jealous of her, and they both were singers and wanted to be in entertainment, and they both are drug addicts. That's what I see, and they both get fucked all in the ass when they get high and have dicks laying around the side of their mouth and nuts laying on their chin, asking their mouth, can the dick come in? That's what the fuck I'm gonna say. They said, well, one, you goddamn right, I was wrong. It wasn't one, it's both of they goddamn ass. And both of them sick. I'm seeing, I don't know. Y'all can follow up with me and let me know later on. Michael, the one that was singing in the front, is he got some goddamn health problem that we do not fucking know about? But I seen Gary, hi Sabrina, also has problems, health problems we don't know about, the one that's married to Pat. And I see Pat was put on Gary because Gary was married to another woman and they had children. Pat is a conniving goddamn soccer ball head ass bitch. They done maneuvered her and paid her and trained her. She's really like a goddamn agent. They paid her and put that bitch on him. Have you heard of the word star whacker? I'm going to tell you, Pat has actually been trained by a secret agency. Pat is a star whacker. They kill certain stars. They whack certain stars. They kill certain goddamn celebrities when they're told to hang around these celebrities. And she couldn't get to Whitney no other way than to get to the brother, the weakest link. He was married to another woman. She got in there, started fucking him. Let the ex-wife tell it. The first wife tell it, got children with him. Started fucking and sucking and freaking and doing whatever and started drugging the nigga. The spirit told me the imp that he hid my damn paper. Now I don't know why he stole my damn paper. I hear him bragging. He giggling now, but gonna tell me the shit, then hide my damn shit. He told me the shit on the paper. And he hid my goddamn paper. I wasn't gonna goddamn stay long, but this fucker here done took my damn note. That he didn't watch me wrote the note and told me what they said, then he hid my damn note. And he up there giggling like a damn demon that he is. And he told me Pat was giving that man drugs, and he mentioned sodium pentothal. And mentioned heroin, which is what a morphine derivative, and come from what certain poppy seeds. So he telling me this, and I'm listening. I said, wait a minute. Pat was getting it to him, said we're getting it to him, and goddamn Whitney ass. This bitch is slick than a motherfucker, and a narcissistic, violent bitch. She done even whooped her husband ass and be cussing him and threatening him. He's scared of her. It's her benefit to keep that man on that goddamn shit because she got Whitney Houston money where she was even slipping Whitney drugs in the goddamn house. That's what Whitney told me. That this fucker real goddamn sneaky, real goddamn conniving, and a motherfucking liar. Pat Houston can look you in your eyes and tell you a goddamn lie. Don't blink, don't move her body. This bitch has practiced at this shit. She's some type of agent, and the bitch don't have no feelings for nobody but herself. She is very goddamn narcissistic, and she wanted Whitney and Bobby Christina dead. Do you hear me? She wanted them that way, and she wanted to be as close to them as she could. Help drug a bitch and drug Whitney brother, keep him on that shit. Because a few years ago, they said he was down here in the car high. This nigga was getting high in the goddamn car. No. And then the little imp that told me to wrote this shit and told me about the drugs and how she shoot him up sometime. Now, I know they don't use the pentothal that much in the U.S., but you know, people can get what the fuck they want to get. And one thing why I want to bring it up, because it remind me of Nipsey and what Whitney said, is that this drug is good for hypnosis. Hypnotizing a bitch. Questioning this nigga, got this nigga saying all kind of shit when she get the nigga high, as well as having problems with reverse hypnosis. But a nigga don't even remember everything he said, or you goddamn ask him. And then the demon gonna tell me, the little imp, talking about he like to get him high on that fucking heroin and then tell him to sing. That's when the thing, I'm like, I believe, I said, wait a minute. Who got in my mouth? Who in my mouth? Who in my fucking mouth got my mouth long down with my tongue down on the left hand? Who in my mouth? Ain't nobody saying nothing. I'm looking around. Like, what the fuck just got in my goddamn mouth? Told that man to sing it ABC when he was high, but the man's voice in his mind sound goddamn normal, but the nigga moving slow because he high on that shit. So what sound normal to him is down. I said, who got in my goddamn mouth? I'm tired of spirit jumping in and out of me like that. Just like fat jumped in and out of me. Who jumped in my goddamn mouth they cocked my mouth to the left. Then the imp came out, the demon to me. I make him sing. I let him get high on that heroin and get on that powder. Then I tell him to sing some song with me. I looked at Whitney. I said, Whitney, did the nigga sing when he get high on that shit? The demon have him like that? And then she told me, that's what he get. He put me on and said both of them were doing it with his goddamn ass. So y'all thank y'all for correcting me, because I said it was one of them that were doing it. The one that were married to him. It was both of them motherfuckers. The one that was Whitney's brother that were married to Fat and still is. And the other one, all three of them is fucking junkies, and all three of them take dicks. You see what I'm saying? But them two men is sick. And she didn't feel sorry for him. You're like, E-F-G, L-R-A-K, I said, I said, so you had that man singing his ABC like that with his mouth long on one side and his tongue down. He started laughing. Tell the wife, like her husband like that. Like the nigga a junkie and getting on that goddamn shit, and said that she gonna inherit everything as long as she keep that man a junkie and keep that man fucked up and get real high, still use and control him or manipulate him. Pat done got out in the limelight again. You see Whitney back down here and in the earth realm, because y'all see somebody done send it to me after I've been talking about her ass. Then they gonna say, you see they finna do a Whitney hologram. You know Pat ass got something to do with that motherfucking shit. With the goddamn hologram finna come out in 2020 of Whitney. You see that? That's what Whitney was trying to tell me. You know, how this bitch is up to that goddamn shit again. And stealing that lady money, trying to make money off of Whitney's legacy and goddamn name. And I'm listening to this shit, and the damn demon up there giggling and told me he go over there and do that to him and torment that man. She helped. He already had it on them when they were young, and they let their sister Whitney get tied up in that shit and crossed around and still thinking shit gonna go that way. And it looked like he said he either got a goddamn kidney problem, the one that's married to Pat, and may have to go on dialysis if this don't get straightened out, if he ain't already on it on the goddamn low. I said the nigga got some kind of liver problem, if nigga got hepatitis or what this nigga got. But said both of Whitney's brothers is suffering from some type of bad illness. See, I'm glad I remember a lot of it, because the thing done went in here and hid my damn paper. After he done told me that shit and ran my mouth over like that on the left. Just I'm talking about out the blue, man. My mouth cocked. And I started singing the ABC. And I had been thinking about ABC, and I'm singing them. Then I said, why I keep thinking about some ABC? Then that thing rammed my mouth down real quick. And I said, who did? Goddamn it, who in my mouth? Who done dived in my goddamn mouth and cocked it to the left on the left hand shit? Then the demon appeared out. It's one of them little ones. That damn midget came in here and twists my damn mouth up like that and started singing to my, I had him do this, like that, real high pitch. I just fucking done stole my damn paper. I'm just trying to remember the shit that he said, and that Pat is one of the main ones to distribute them drugs around they goddamn house, and she keep that man drugged up on that shit, and then she sit out there in the limelight and try to act like she's so pure and intelligent and special. This motherfucker is a they said Whitney mama did not wonder about the health of the mama, because they draining the mama. She don't want a challenger to the estate and the problem. See, they come up with again with Columbia and Challenger. So I would say Pat would be Columbia. I'm telling you, this lady is very violent. She just don't act like this lady's dangerous. Very vicious and goddamn dangerous on the low, and whoops that man ass, whoop Gary ass, and control that money and give him a few dollars what she want him to have. But I've seen his drugs in that goddamn house where she would secretly beat his ass and then shoot him up. Yeah, I can deal with midget, but I'm talking about a damn demon midget that sit up there and talk to that man when that man get high and he could see that demon and hear that goddamn demon just like I heard it and told me, I make him sing his ABC. And then did me like that. I said, don't jump after you do this tonight. Don't jump in my goddamn mouth and do that fuck shit. And I'm going to do this for these people out here in front of the audience one time. Don't do that goddamn shit no more. Because I don't want to walk around with my goddamn mouth fucked up and twists over to the goddamn left. I said, so you really do that man like that so that man still get high? He said, yeah, that motherfucker still get high. If both of them living right now, both of them still does that shit. And he said one of them ass is tender on the side. Said the nigga prolapse, the ass is kind of juicy the way his ass sit up like a bitch. But said he get fucked all in the ass and got fucked so many times all in his ass that his ass is leaning over like prolapse, like swole up from the inside out. So he done did all that. Still didn't get no goddamn record deal. Said cause he was too easy and the man he was sleeping with white men too. That really, it really didn't matter. Real whores. The men. Men's going all in his ass, but he liked to get high first. When Whitney used to be out there young with him, with Michael, that's the one that really loves taking it in his aim. So that demon gonna give me back my goddamn note. He gonna give me when it's damn show over. Y'all know I have left the camera and got my damn shit before I got my paper. It's fucking unhid my goddamn paper. Yeah, his asshole tender around that, like the outside and around the left corner pocket, the inner pocket. He was leaning over because he loved that powder, and then he loved to get train ran down on. So they right. I was wrong because they sent me back in. I said, let me check this goddamn shit. This shit was so now that I re-look at the shit than the shit was when I said the shit 2 nights a goddamn ago. This one I said shit is goddamn both of they motherfucking ass. Cause the one with Pat, okay, the demon got him high, so he really don't have to remember. He ain't got to deal with this shit. That he sucked some dicks to get him some goddamn heroin and some fucking powder. But he did it. Excuse me. Let me say allegedly. These spiritual readings for entertainment purposes only. I'm just talking based on what I'm seeing on the spiritual level. It's all for goddamn entertainment purposes. What I am saying, I seen that this damn imp, this little baby demon that's mischievous and dirty as hell, an old demon but in a young imp looking ass child body. This fucker messier than a motherfucker. He keeps up shit and got that man out there on that shit sucking dicks. Cause I remember a few years ago they seen Gary nodding off high off that shit in his car. None early in the goddamn daytime done passed the fuck out. I'm talking there must be some fire. And then that demon started fucking with him. Get your ass up. Let's sing our ABC. I'm looking at this here. Then the same little bitty body. A dirty ass goddamn demon with a real little bitty ass body came in here talking to me. Whitney brought this little motherfucker in here talking about Chaka Khan ass yesterday. And I said, Whitney, goddamn, I don't know. I don't know how to tell it. You keep on coming to me. She said they want to cash Shaka out and cash her in. I don't know why Whitney keep coming to me about goddamn Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan. She told me that this is, and I don't know all the record labels that Shaka was with, but y'all can tell me if Shaka was with Warner Brothers or Sony. Because I think that she was several record labels. For some reason, Whitney told me they name. So I don't know all the one that Whitney with or with, was Whitney ever with Warner Brothers and Sony. But it has came up because Whitney came in here and brought that damn imp. So I don't know if that's the same messy ass imp. Thank you for the heart, y'all. Or 2 different ones. No, it's not over there. I would never put it over there. I keep my paper together. I was upstairs writing out the drug name they told me that she used on that man. The spirit was describing her personality. So I'll just have to come back next week and do it. But I can remember how treacherous and low down she said she is. And she is only concerned with having the whole estate of Whitney Houston. And so the brother will not get nothing. He already weak. He does not control anything right now. Pat control that lady estate. When Whitney came in here, she was talking back about Shaka Khan. She brought this imp. It's a male being. She said this thing has been following Shaka Khan since the 70s. When Shaka was young, starting out in her career. And it mentioned a couple of the band members that was in Shaka. I think she started off with Shaka and Rufus. I seen this apartment, like you come in the front door, and when you walk down a hallway, you come in the front door, to the left, there's a little dining room table. Then you go further down, there's a kitchen right there, a small little kitchen with a little countertop that you can look out into the living room. Then if you come in, instead of going to the left to see the little dining area, you go to the right. That's where the living room is that the kitchen kind of looks out into. And then you go further on to the right, there's 2 bedrooms. One of the bedrooms I seen Shaka stayed in, so I don't know if it was a hotel, apartment she lived in one time. You go in the bedroom, the bed is up against the wall. The headboard's up against the wall. There's a window. Then right in front of the bed, there's a small wooden dresser. with the wooden mirror, like a little set right there. Then you go across the room. There's a closet right here. Might be two little closets. Whitney said, you know that little shoe box you had up under there? She had some in the shoe box. And she said, right there on the side of the shoe box, I looked down there. Whitney let me see the little imp down there. The little demon down there's a shadow person. And he would stay up under Shaka bed. Yes, I know she's close to Mickey Howard. Whitney knew Mickey. She hung with Mickey too. I don't know. She didn't mention Mickey. She keeps mentioning Shaka. Like something's going on, or they want something to go on with Shaka's body and her health and her mind. They want to cash. Somebody's discussing this with one of these older record labels. So I don't know if that means they got some of her music, or they own some of the music, or share the rights to it. All I know is Whitney keep on coming in my house, talk about Shaka Khan. I did it last time she did it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sloan from SloanBella.com, and 6 is a key playing time for the ending of this person's reign of power, systematically following through until that time frame, but completely eradicated at that time. So the energy of this person's empire is slowly collapsing. Now, when you look at a person's empire or what they produce or what they create, that extends to family members and everybody down the line. Okay. So systematically, which is really interesting, because what I get is this particular person who has acquired, probably was the first hip hop billionaire in 2019. So they say, has acquired so much wealth and power over the masses, along with his very famous wife. And when you look at it, they're very famous children, because of course, when the parents are celebrities, the children come into play in the public eye. But this particular person is winding down energetically. And I see a complete brick wall shut right in front of this person. So no matter how they try to get around what is coming for them, by the year 2036, we are done. So 2030, 2036. So as soon as we hit the agenda of 2030, 6 years later, we are done. So this particular powerful person no longer has reign over what is going on in the public eye, okay, or in the music industry. There is a complete takedown of this energy right now. And I go through so many people around him. It's not just him. He's the one that took the bait and took the power. But remember, when you take the power, they're always coming for your power. We see that everywhere we go. We see that in any business, little restaurants, all the way up to huge corporations, to huge public celebrities. So who am I talking about? I'm talking about Jay-Z, if you didn't figure it out, with his very famous wife. And there was a lot of stuff online that had him as a Pisces rising. You know me, I'm not going to buy that when you're that articulate. He's pretty articulate and pretty focused. Perhaps that's not going to be Pisces rising. I found more other sources that put him at a Virgo rising, which makes perfect sense to me, given that he married a Virgo, and that Virgo plays an integral role in his power. So I'm talking about Jay-Z, who was born on December 4th of 1969. He is an earth rooster. Now, it's interesting because roosters are the bossies of the zodiac, Chinese astrology. They are the directors, the dictators. So they're going to tell you how it's done, which really, when you're in a position of power career-wise, this would be something that would be a benefit to your personality. So he is an earth rooster, controlled and possessed by earthbound things. Okay, so the things that we manifest on earth, you know, the money, the power, the fame that we're taught here. We're born into families and we just grow up and we're told, you know, you want to aspire to be this guy because he's a billionaire. And they all have fake stories. Now, I want to point that out. Fake stories about the nonsense on how they started and how they got to where they are. That's not entirely true. So I never want anybody to believe these stories of rags to riches bullshit, because it's bullshit. Anyway, energetically speaking, Jay-Z is a Libra moon, sun in Sagittarius, and Virgo rising. Now, what I found so interesting is he has Pluto on the ascendant. It's not a tight conjunction, but it is within orb of a conjunction. Okay, so or degree of a conjunction. So when we have Pluto close to the ascendant, number one, that acts, regardless of the sign it's in, okay, it acts like a Scorpio rising. So we are never going to know the truth about this person because Pluto on the ascendant is like, I either invite you in or I shut the door. Okay, the door is being shut on him right now, by the way. Anyway, he is a Virgo rising, Pluto in Virgo on the ascendant. Now, Pluto is out of sign conjunction to the moon in Libra. Beyonce has a Libra rising, according to online, and she is a Virgo. So this makes perfect sense. Her sun sits on his ascendant. His moon, it's a mutual reception. His moon sits on her ascendant. On an emotional level, she is exactly what he envisions for himself. Exactly that. Now, he has an out of sign conjunction from Pluto to the moon and then conjunct Uranus. Now, that is very hard to control in Libra. It's also unique. So the way that he thinks on an emotional level and the way that his women are, starting with his mother, all the way back to his mother and any female relatives that kind of shaped who he is, it's an ingenious type of energy because it's connected to Uranus. And Uranus in Libra is creatively, well, number one, it's visually, creatively, artistically, aesthetically pleasing to the public. So there would be that. Now, Uranus is conjunct the second house. You can be damn sure this man uses astrology. I'm going to say that. He uses astrology and he makes his money in unique and odd ways, which he does have facets in clothing and alcohol, a lot like the P. Diddy shit, which is code for I need to get rid of mass amounts of money from other type of work I'm doing. And how do I do that? I open up businesses and I run my money through these different businesses. This is just what I see with this. So he's got Uranus conjuncting the second house. Neptune conjunct Venus in Scorpio. Oh my God. Okay. So anyway, Venus in Scorpio is a sex. Like, I want to get with you. Neptune is there, which adds a spiritual element and or a delusional element. Okay. Could be delusional or spiritual or spiritually delusional. Like, this is my queen and I'm her king and we're going to be together as they act in public. In the lay terms with people in day-to-day life, Venus conjunct Neptune can be very difficult because you don't see the person as they are. You can hold them on a pedestal and devalue them equally as quickly, which can be very difficult for the relationship if you're the one being devalued or put on a pedestal, because nobody wants either one. You just want to be seen as you are, actually, technically. So we have Sun and Mercury conjunct in Sag. Now, this is a smart man. This is smart and it's articulate. It's in Sagittarius. Now, because he's born on December 4th and has a Saturn retrograde in Taurus in the 8th house. So Saturn retrograde instantly, automatically removes the father's influence from your life. Now, what do I mean by that? It can mean you have a working father who does not have time to come home and spend time with the kids. It can mean that your father's locked up in jail. It can mean that your father has no interest in being a father and or karmically wasn't told he was the father of you. So it can bring about so much in a person's chart. But the person who owns the Saturn retrograde, meaning the person with Saturn retrograde in their chart, it basically opens them up to the idea that they walk alone without the support of the father figure, whomever it is. It doesn't mean other people don't step in, all of that. But the father of origin, the birth father, is absent. And subsequent fathers after are absent. The 4th of the month, every month, all the way from January, all the way through to Pisces, like beginning of the year to the end of the year, which is December, actually not Pisces, from Aries to Pisces. I was doing from the first of the year. Anyway, Aries is actually the first of the year. We know this, but they screw with us with the calendar. Anyway, from Aries to Pisces, anybody born on the 4th of the month is absent a father figure. And as a result of, makes their own creative
security at the hospital said, "Hey doc, we got to do a little cleanup first." I said, "What do you mean cleanup?" He said, "You and Bobby got to hold on a minute before you walk inside." I said, "Hold on for what?" He says, "Look up." When I looked up, I saw some guys in the trees. He said, "We got cameramen in the trees all around this Peachtree Hospice Care Facility Center right down here in Atlanta." Okay. And there was people in the trees, and I didn't know it. There was, honestly, when I showed up at the Peachtree Hospice Care Center, there were 1,500 photographers. Yes, oh yes. I said about 1,500. It's a sea of photographers. Flashing. Okay?
Wow.
And so they had to do a little cleanup, and the security guy said, look up in the tree. And we saw a guy up in the tree, and he had like 4 or 5 big pillows, and he had himself prop, and he looked like he had a $200,000 camera, and he was leaning like this, leaning straight toward Bobby Christina's window. So they had to get a few guys out as much as they could out, and then I went inside. When I walked inside, Pat Houston had agreed. She agreed, and the doctor, the chief head CEO of the hospital, had agreed to allow me to come in and help, because Bobby said he's bringing this person in. So he had to go and talk to those people, make sure they agreed, so I could come and do the work, right? What's the point of having me fly away down here if he can't do anything? So as I was going into the room, Pat Houston started going crazy. Oh, blah, 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 blah. He can't go in. He can't, da, 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 da. And Bobby looked at her like, what's your problem? And she go, he can't, da, 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 he can't, da, da, da. And then the security at the front, at the desk right there, to Bobby Christina's room, the security guys at the desk said, hold it. He said, we know, Pat, that you don't want this man here, but this is Bobby Brown's daughter, and he has the right to bring a visitor in if he wants to. So they overrode Pat and basically told her to get out of here and shut up.
Yeah.
And when I walked into the room, the first thing I noticed was I took a walk around the facility before I walked in the room, meaning I walked around the facility, nursing care. And what I did was, because my father was the chief of the VA hospital for 45 years. So I took a little walk around, did my own little perusal, and I'm looking to see what kind of care, what kind of cleanliness, what's going on with this facility.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that just about everybody in there has some form of food, something to intake. But I noticed when I went in Bobby Christina's room, Princess Bobby Christina, the first thing I noticed was, here's a young lady in a bed. I want to start crying. She's in a bed with nothing connected to it. I don't see no source of nothing. It looks like food. I don't see IV bags. I don't see food trays. I don't see nothing. So the first thing that immediately hit my brain, like I said, my father was hospital chief.
Mm-hmm.
How's this person being fed? Are you guys depriving her, denying her food? That's the first thing that went to my brain. I don't see any old trays, no old this, because you always see something a little left over. You know what I mean? I don't see nothing in here. And so I walked around and I didn't see the IVs. So I said to Bobby, Bobby, I need to get started. He said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to do a few things here. And I did some pressure points with her. If you hold out your hand like this and I squeeze, hold out your hand, lean over just a little bit. I'm going to squeeze your hand in the camera. I'm going to do it so the camera sees. You see right here, that web skin right there? Mm-hmm. That skin right there I'm squeezing? In between each finger is skin. Mm-hmm. This is a pressure point. When I squeeze through right here, through the thumb right here, that opens up the heart. When I squeeze through here, it opens up through the bladder, through the liver, and through your kidney. If I squeeze hard, I can feel the pain in your brain. The pain that you feel, I can feel it. I feel it in your fingertips. So I teach young children how you can squeeze pressure points. Look at me, ladies and gentlemen. Here, if you didn't see good there, I'm doing it again. You see that little web? It looks like a web between the two skins. Squeeze it as hard as you can. You can't put enough pressure to it and make it hurt. And the more it hurts, it lets you know that one of your organs is down. Your heart's down, your liver's down, your bladder's down, your kidney's down. Let me tell you how they did it back in the days. Let me tell you how they did it with the Africans and the people they made slaves in America. They would take the African and put him up on this big post up here, and he's standing up there right before they're hanging him and trying to decide, we're going to hang this slave, we're going to keep him. You know what they do with the African? They open up his mouth. And when they look at your mouth and pull up your gums, if your gums are black and purple, you got kidney, liver, bladder problems. So I want everybody to go like this and pull up your gums. If you don't see pink and you see purple and black and this and that and this and that, you got problems. And it occurs to me sometimes. Sometimes I'll get a little area go dark, and that lets you know you got to clean it up. Okay? They also took the black man and they would look at his balls and his testicle and penis, and the way it hung told them whether he was a strong person or not. If it hung too far, just hanging down, they go, oh no, let that slave go. He's going to die in 6 months. Take him on out. He's not going to be able to do any work for us. They know it just by looking at your balls. They know it just by looking at your gums. So I'm telling people, we can learn things. Also between your toes. Each toe has a web skin between it. And that's exactly how I got started with Princess Bobby Christina. She was in a coma. So I started with pressure points, squeezing as hard as I could. And you know what I did? I squeezed each hand, both hands. No response. Squeeze the right leg. No response. When I start squeezing the left leg, Bobby Christina, boom, kicked. She was dead asleep, but she kicked out so hard. And when she kicked, it was kind of like a mule. I call it like a mule kick, like, bam! bam, it's like super hard, right? And I'm right in front of her when she kicked. So when she kicked, the power was coming so strong. I used to be in karate, so I'm good for dodging, okay? But anyway, so when she kicked, I did a little dodge like this, and I started laughing. And Bobby said, Doc, what's so funny? I said, Bobby, I said, I'm laughing because I think I should have jumped. He said, what do you mean? She would have kicked your mouth out, kicked your teeth out? I said, yeah, I should have stood here like a man and took that kick. And Bobby said, why would you want to do that? I said, then I could tell the world that Bobby Christina woke up from a coma, kicked the doctor's teeth straight out of his mouth with that kind of force. I said, I could have used those 2 teeth and I would have walked around with that gap and been a proud gabbing man because Bobby Christina kicked those teeth out, waking up from a coma. Those would have been some blessed 2 teeth. I call that a hallelujah. And when she woke up, she was... And she was looking at me really mean and really mad. And Bobby said, he said, my daughter is looking at you. He said, Bobby is looking at you like she's really upset with you. He said, Doc, what's going on? I said, Bobby, what's going on is your daughter just went under the same equivalency as if I came to you right now and stomped on your toes with some paratrooper steel-toe boots. You know what those paratroopers, those old boots with the steel? I said, if I came and stomped down on your toe, that's exactly what she felt. I said, but Bobby, I had to do it to wake her up. I said, she may be mad at me, but she's alive.
Yeah.
He said, what we gonna do now? What we gonna do now? I said, Bobby, come on over here. Come over here. Come over here. So I took Bobby, and I'll show you guys. There's a space in the back of your head. If you take your finger and you put it right back here, there's a gap. There's a space right back there at the base of your head, and it feels like a little indenture hole right in the center.
Mm-hmm.
In that center, I said, Bobby, put your finger right there. It's a base where your head and your neck meet up. There's a little gap space right there in the center. I want everybody to touch it. And I want everybody to take your finger and move your hand. You do it right now. Move your finger around that.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do it, it feels like a serious massage to your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, Bobby, take your finger now that I got to work awake. I said, God's got to awake. Keep moving your finger right there in that spot. And Bobby kept circling it. And as Bobby was doing this, guess what she was saying? She started to say, excuse me. But as Bobby was doing this, she started saying, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. She screamed, Daddy, so loud. And when she was screaming, Bobby's face was this close to his daughter. He was 2 inches from her eyes. And she was screaming, Daddy, Daddy, like, help me, Daddy, I'm back, Daddy. What am I going to do, Daddy? When she screamed that was the most glorious moment of my life. Because that was a hallelujah. That let me know that she was back. She knew her dad's in front of her. She wanted to be in her dad's arms. And she was screaming, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. So she screamed so loud. People out there watching this video, I'm not going to apologize. I'll just say whenever I speak this portion, this part of what happened in the situation, it's almost impossible for me to tell you without crying. Because a 23-year-old girl laying here in the bed, and these people trying to take her life away. God told me that you can get her back up. I prayed for 6 months to go help Bobby Christina. I knew that nobody else could help her but me. I knew I was the only one that could do this, okay? And so at the hospital, when she woke up and was screaming, Daddy, 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 people out in the hall, everybody heard of that. Whoa, whoa. I mean, it's like ring the bell, Bobby Christina's awake. Pat Houston walked in the room. She walked over to Bobby Christina, Princess Bobby Christina. I call her princess because man put her in a state to try to snap her out of her life, okay? She's a princess. So Pat Houston walked closer to her, got really close to Princess Bobby Christina. And the closer Pat got to Princess Bobby Christina started doing this. I'm telling you exactly, showing you exactly what she did. She was laying down like this, with her eyes open, looking at everybody. And when Pat walked over to her, she started going, she went like that.
Wow.
She tried with all her might to come up with strength to get out the bed and kick Pat Houston's butt. That's what I saw in Bobby Christina, Princess Bobby Christina. If she could, she would have got out of that bed and tore that woman alive, tore to pieces.
No.
And so Pat, this is what she did. You got to hear this now. Pat Houston, the funny part, Pat Houston was, she looked Princess Bobby Christina straight in the eyes, and she did like this, slowly starting backing up. She backed away from Princess Bobby Christina. She didn't like other people do, turn around and walk away. No, she backed her way out of that room. She didn't want to take her eyes off of Bobby, Princess Bobby Christina, because she thought she may get out and snap her eyes out.
And then below it, it says she's the president of that is out of this world, you all. She can. I had a. I'm getting ready to do this interview with someone, and the guy told me, he said, Leola, I saw Pat. He said, I'm not going to mention his name, but he said he was at the hospital when my brother, Bobby, brought Bobby Christina to the hospital in Chicago to see a brain specialist or a brain surgeon. And he said that he saw Pat in the hallway of the hospital. And he said, Leola, when I tell you that I looked in her eyes, he said, first of all, she was smiling. And I was saying to myself, why is this woman smiling like this after this baby was rushed in here for her brain? He said, I immediately went into, protection mode. He said he actually felt God telling him that this woman was evil. He said, and he looked down and he saw Pat with a pair of boots on, of Whitney's. He said, I saw Whitney with those boots on. And let me tell you all something. I noticed that myself. Whitney had some nice clothes. Pat has never been a dresser. Never. I'm not taking anything. I'm not trying to say anything bad about my sister, but she's never had any nice clothes. You know, that if somebody would say, oh, that's nice. She was a plain Jane person. Now all of a sudden she's flashy, wearing all of Whitney's clothes. And God knows what they took of Whitney's. They probably took all her coats, her clothes, and everything. It's sad. It is so sad. But yeah, he said that. He said he saw Pat at the hospital smiling. And he said he wanted to cry. He felt so bad. He said he felt so bad for Chrissy. But he's not the first person that told me that. You all are going to learn in my book. My sister Tina caught Pat looking at Chrissy right by her bedside at the hospital in a way where she was saying, basically, yeah, you here now. And you ain't going nowhere. And Tina said she looked at her like, and Pat tried to straighten up her face. But I've heard this over and over and over again about Pat. She is very happy. You all heard the tape that Jonathan Houston made. And he believes Pat and his father has something to do with the demise of his cousin Chrissy and his auntie Whitney. Just like everybody else. This is their children saying this. Come on now. When that tape was revealed, when Pat was in the back talking about Whitney, how can you say stuff like that? How? Because she doesn't care, you all. She doesn't. And she don't care about me speaking like this. Pat really doesn't. You know, she's that evil. She's got that evil streak in her. There's no remorse. No. She's not going to have no remorse until God does what he's about to do for her.
Bobby Christina. I call her princess because man put her in a state to try to snap her out of her life, okay? She's a princess. So Pat Houston walked closer to her, got really close to Princess Bobby Christina. And the closer Pat got to Princess Bobby Christina started doing this. I'm telling you exactly, showing you exactly what she did. She was laying down like this, with her eyes open, looking at everybody. And when Pat walked over to her, she started going, She went like that.
Wow.
She tried with all her might to come up with strength to get out the bed and kick Pat Houston's butt. That's what I saw in Bobby Christina, Princess Bobby Christina.
Queen Tulsa, baby. Your favorite shade. Your hottest tea. And your headline queen. The Wendy Williams of YouTube. Iconic, epic, and always petty when I need to be. Queen Tulsa, I'm the queen of YouTube. I'm the Wendy Williams of YouTube. Treat me right, I'll treat you right. Treat me wrong, I'll treat you wrong.
Oh. Whitney had some nice clothes. Pat has never been a dresser. Never. I'm not taking anything. I'm not trying to say anything bad about my sister, but she's never had any nice clothes. You know, that and somebody would say, oh, that's nice. She was a plain Jane person. Now all of a sudden she's flashy, wearing all of Whitney's clothes. And God knows what they took of Whitney's. They probably took all her coats, her clothes, and everything. It's sad. It is so sad. But yeah, he said that. He said he saw Pat at the hospital smiling. And he said he wanted to cry. He felt so bad. He said he felt so bad for Chrissy. But he's not the first person that told me that. You all are going to learn in my book. My sister Tina caught Pat looking at Chrissy right by her bedside at the hospital in a way where she was saying, basically, yeah, you here now. And you ain't going nowhere. And Tina said she looked at her like, and Pat tried to straighten up her face. But I've heard this over and over and over again about Pat. She is very happy. You all heard the tape that Jonathan Houston made. And he believes Pat and his father has something to do with the demise of his cousin Chrissy and his auntie Whitney, just like everybody else. This is their children saying this. Come on now. When that tape was revealed, when Pat was in the back talking about Whitney, how can you say stuff like that? How? Because she doesn't care, you all. She doesn't. And she don't care about me speaking like this. Pat really doesn't. You know, she's that evil. She's got that evil streak in her. There's no remorse. No. She's not going to have no remorse until God does what he's about to do for her. That's when she's going to have some remorse. He's going to force her down on her knees because she's walking around too proud. Yes. But I want y'all to look at that. Whip, nip. Like, what are you trying to do? You don't need to make any monies off of Whitney's name. No, you do not. You are responsible for the death of Whitney and Bobby Christina. Yes, you are. And probably little Bobby Jr. too. All of you all are in cahoots with each other. You, Alicia, I don't, and God knows what you all are doing right now. But I know y'all are up to something. Because I got the phone call that you done snatch Mimi back up again, my niece. So y'all are up to something. Because I know the only reason why you have Mimi around. And by the way, Mimi, if you're looking at this, you could have saved Bobby Christina. You, when she called you and begged you to come and get her. You didn't come and get her. But had you came and got her, you would have saved her. Yes, she would have been saved. I could have got her from there. You all, and now you're still hanging out with Pat. And you said it. You said that you were sorry, Mimi. You were sorry for how you talked about me in the media and all that. You're not sorry, though. You cannot be easy like that. Don't be weak. And when she calls, you come running. You should not be anywhere near her. But I can't tell you what to do. You do as you please. But it's sad. It's a shame. I know you all are up to something because God reveals things to me. He does. But it's sad what you all are doing. You're slapping Whitney while in her death. You're still slapping her in the face with nip. Oh, really? Is that what you did? Did you whip her? Y'all jumped her, huh? Y'all jumped her in that hotel. Is that right? Yeah, it can only be one or two things and only a handful of y'all. So y'all know what happened. Busted lip. And I just heard that Whitney's lip was busted up so bad that she had to have surgery on that lip because of that cut that was so deep that was on her lip. So what did you all hit her with? This is what I'd like to know. Anyways, yes, I heard about Ray J saying he wanted to commit suicide. A lot of people think that it's because of my videos, the tapes that I've been putting out talking about him. I don't know. But one thing's for sure, I'm not going to say nothing negative because I'm not that type of person. I'm not going to do that and wish that on nobody. But God is here for us all. Well, everybody has to repent for their sins. They're going to catch up to us. Yes, they are. I would encourage everybody to flee to God right now because it's that time. We have to. And we have to stop this nonsense of the evil that we're doing and the trickery and, trying to make people believe that we're one way and we're really not. That's what Pat Houston is doing right now. She's telling the whole world, basically, she don't give a damn about Whitney. Never have. Never have. There's a lot that she has done to Whitney. And she's not remorseful. I would think she would be remorseful, but she's not. And I see what she's doing. Okay, so you created a company called Whip Nip Inc., huh? What you gonna say? Oops, I'm sorry. That's a mistake. I meant to say Wit Nip. Wit Nip. No, you didn't. You don't make that mistake. That P is way away from the T. You couldn't make that mistake. No, that doesn't happen. That does not happen. But that's okay because God is here. He's coming for us all. And everything we do, we're gonna have to pay for it. Yes. Because I'm here. I'm gonna tell it all. I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna help Whitney and Bobby Christina and little Bobby get some kind of justice because it makes no sense what you all did. Nowhere in the history of life does a mother and daughter get found in a bathtub. That ain't never happened to nobody. And everybody's dying of overdoses. Oh, really? That's how y'all wanted it to look. Whitney was clean, like I said. Y'all did so many things to my niece. It's so sad. And Pat, I know all about that show. I told Chrissy not to do it with you. She said, Auntie Bibi, I just did it because she kept begging me for money. But I knew, Pat, that you was going to do something. I knew it. I said, she's going to do something to make Chrissy look bad because they're preparing to grab Whitney's estate. So she's preparing all her evidence for the judge. So she wants to, now you place Nick on that show, have him feeding my niece things so that you can say, look, Your Honor, look at how she looks. That's why you did that, Pat. You brought that girl on to make Chrissy jealous so that would start conflict with Chrissy and Nick. I peeped the whole game that you did. I watched. I didn't watch that show like that. No, I didn't. So let me not lie. There's a lot that I haven't seen, but I didn't care to watch it. But I saw that part. I saw how you planted that girl there so that Chrissy can be. And this is after her mother is gone. You would do this, Pat. Do you really? You hate my niece that much? I already knew you hated Whitney. But that is ugly. So you see, Pat, I know your mind. I know how you operate. I know what's in here. You can fool the people out here, but you can't fool Leola. I know who you are. And when you do something, I know how you do it, where you're coming from and all. I know. You have a sick heart. And you need to be healed. And you are one of the ones that studies, supposedly. You're supposed to be what, a Hebrew Israelite or something like that? Is that what you study? So you know something about God. You're not just one of these young ones out here that, And you would do that to your sister, huh? Wow. I told Mama Sissy to watch her back. Gary, brother, if you're looking at this, you too. Michael, you too. Because Donna and Pat have a plan. Oh, yeah. Yes, they do. My brother Bobby needs to watch his wife, too. These are the in-laws. The in-laws, you all. The Browns and the Houstons never had a problem or issue with each other. Never. It's the in-laws. Those on the outside. We never had a problem with each other. This is a sick world, man. People wanting to have money in their pocket. God got something for us all. With these ill hearts, he's got something for us. All that has to be removed up out of us. All that sickness, it's a disease in the heart. It's a disease. Yes, it is. I heard a lot of things. A lot of things. Oh, and that's another thing. I wanted to say this. Pat, Mickey told me about how Mama Sissy invited you and Gary to her house for dinner after the death of Whitney. And you all flew in from Atlanta. And Mama Sissy said, tell me what happened to my baby. And you two jumped up and said, we didn't come here for that. Oh, that's what you called us here for? We didn't come here for that. You knew Whitney didn't want to be here no more. And walked out the door and left Mama Sissy standing there like that. You know why? I told Mickey. I said, you know why they did that? Because they couldn't face Mama Sissy. They had to get up out of sight. They couldn't face her. They didn't want to face her because they had did what they did. But the plan from the beginning, I figured it out. You all were going to say, you all said, that was plan A, to get Chrissy first. And then you were going to say Whitney found her, so Whitney committed suicide right after that. But Chrissy came out of that bathtub. Oh, yeah. See how smart Leola is? Yeah, you know I got it right. You know I got it right. But see, Whitney had caught on to you guys, and that's why you didn't want her out of that hotel. Oh, yeah. The book is coming, though. The book is coming. I'm telling it because I know what happened. I know why Whitney was looking for you all. She's looking for you. She's looking for Ray J. Ray J said in the media he regretted the missed phone calls. Pat, you sat in front of Oprah and said you didn't answer her phone call all that day because you knew why she was calling you. You knew. You knew what Whitney wanted, but you couldn't answer her. I knew what she was going to ask you. I know exactly what she was calling you for. And you ducked her. But at the same time, Ray, this is to your brother Ray, Pat. And with all due respect, Ray, you know I respect you. Always have. But come on, man. We all know. We know that you know something, Ray. You were Whitney's security. And that's one thing Whitney never deviated from. She never. Anytime she went out of town and had a hotel, she had security at her door, Ray. And you always had a room next door to her. You was always right there at her door. So how could you tell me that her room looked like a tornado hit it? Where was you? Where was you at, Ray? Seriously, you never told me that. You never explained to me when we were sitting there talking. When I was trying to find out what happened, Pat called somebody to come and get you, to keep you away from me, because she didn't want you telling me anything. But y'all didn't think that nobody was going to ask? We know how everything goes and operates out on the road with Whitney. Her room looked like a tornado hit it. So I guess that's when Pat and Gary went in there and moved stuff in and out. Because I already know what they did. My nephew Gerard Brown told us Pat and Gary was taking stuff out the room, putting stuff in. Y'all stepped over Chrissy. He said y'all wouldn't even help him with Chrissy. She fell on the floor crying. And y'all just stepped over her. Oh my God. While Whitney's body laid there dead, you all are running in and out of the room, taking stuff, putting stuff in, staging stuff, see? Because Whitney was clean. The autopsy said that. So y'all made it look like there was a little drug thing going on. You know, why would there be drugs in a hotel room with a person and it not be in their system? So Pat and Gary, you all planted those drugs there. Yeah, you all did. And I don't even believe that was Whitney's room that she was in. No, I don't believe that was Whitney's room. I'm going to tell everybody what I believe in the book. But that was dirty. That was very dirty. Yes. See, I said some things you didn't think I knew about, huh? Yes. And Ray J, with all due respect to you, my brother, I don't know what they told you or who's telling you what, but you don't know me, brother. You don't know me. Don't believe what you hear, because I have always been the type of person to speak my mind. If you know anything about me, go ask my brother Bobby. Can't nobody stop me from speaking out on the truth. No. Your mother cannot scare me with all the threats. If I speak out and mention Ray J's name, she's going to sue me. You can't sue somebody for what is true. No, you can't. So I'm just saying, everything is going to be revealed. I have to tell what you did because my niece was rushed to the hospital. Yes. And you forced that on her. That's what makes you so guilty, because you wouldn't take no for an answer. Okay, you can't do that to people. We loved my niece. We loved Whitney. We love our family. Don't you love your family? If somebody was to do something to your child, how would you feel? You would feel the same way. So don't nobody come at me telling me I should shut my mouth and all that. No, you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that to my family members and then think we're going to keep our mouth shut. No, you do not. You are not God. I'm sorry. You are not God. And if you know anything about me, I don't sweat nobody. I don't care nothing about you being an entertainer or, famous and all that crap. I don't care nothing about it. No, because the real stars are the people of God. That's the real stars in the world. Okay? At the end of the day. But yeah, you guys, I want you all to check that out. Check that out and look at that. And look what Pat did. Whip, nip, ink. And then she says, and on the same page, under it, wit, W-H-I-T. So I guess she's saying, that's a message to you all that she whipped nip. That's all that is. She didn't make a mistake. That's not a typo. That's not a typo, baby. No, sir. That P is way away from the T. You didn't do that by accident. I just wanted to point that out. But I got some more videos coming. I just wanted you all to see that. Okay? Look at that.
Guys depriving her, denying her food. That's the first thing went to my brain. I don't see any old trays, no old this, because you always see something a little left over. You know what I mean? I see nothing in here. And so I walked around and I didn't see the IVs. So I said to Bobby, Bobby, I need to get started. There were 1,500 photographers. Yes. Oh, yes. I said about 1,500. It's a sea of photographers. Blah, 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 blah. Flashing. Okay?
Wow.
And so they had to do a little cleanup, and the security guy said, look up in the tree. And we saw a guy up in the tree, and he had like 4 or 5 big pillows, and he had himself propped, and he looked like he had a $200,000 camera, and he was leaning like this, leaning straight toward Bobby Christina's window. So they had to get a few guys out as much as they could out, and then I went inside. When I walked inside, Pat Houston had agreed. She agreed, and the doctor, the chief head CEO of the hospital, had agreed to allow me to come in and help, because Bobby said he's bringing this person in. So he had to go and talk to those people, make sure they agreed so I could come and do the work, right? What's the point of having me fly away down here if he can't do anything? So as I was going into the room, Pat Houston started going crazy. Oh, blah, 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 blah. He can't go in. He can't, da, 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 da. And Bobby looked at her like, what's your problem? And she go, he can't, da, 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 he can't, da, da, da. And then the security at the front, at the desk right there, to Bobby Christina's room, the security guys at the desk said, hold it. He said, we know, Pat, that you don't want this man here, but this is Bobby Brown's daughter, and he has the right to bring a visitor in if he wants to. So they overrode Pat and basically told her to get out of here and shut up.
Yeah.
And when I walked into the room, the first thing I noticed was I took a walk around the facility before I walked in the room, meaning I walked around the facility, nursing care. And what I did was, because my father was the chief of the VA hospital for 45 years. So I took a little walk around, did my own little perusal, and I'm looking to see what kind of care, what kind of cleanliness, what kind of what's going on with this facility.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that just about everybody in there has some form of food, something to intake. But I noticed when I went in Bobby Christina's room, Princess Bobby Christina, the first thing I noticed was, here's a young lady in a bed. I wanted to start crying. She's in a bed with nothing connected to it. I don't see no source of nothing that looks like food. I don't see IV bags. I don't see food trays. I don't see nothing. So the first thing that immediately hit my brain, like I said, my father was hospital chief.
Mm-hmm.
How's this person being fed? Are you guys depriving her, denying her food? That's the first thing went to my brain. I don't see any old trays, no old this, because you always see something a little left over, you know what I mean? I see nothing in here. And so I walked around and I didn't see the IVs. So I said to Bobby, I said, Bobby, I need to get started. He said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to do a few things here. And I did some pressure points with her. If you hold out your hand like this and I squeeze, hold out your hand, lean over just a little bit. I'm going to squeeze your hand in the camera. I'm going to do it so the camera sees. You see right here, that web skin right there? Mm-hmm. That skin right there I'm squeezing. In between each finger is skin. Mm-hmm. This is a pressure point. When I squeeze through right here, through the thumb right here, that opens up the heart. When I squeeze through here, it opens up through the bladder, through the liver, and through your kidney. If I squeeze hard, I can feel the pain in your brain. The pain that you feel, I can feel it. I feel it in your fingertips. So I teach young children how you can squeeze pressure points. Look at me, ladies and gentlemen. Here, if you didn't see good there, I'm doing it again. You see that little web? It looks like a web between the two skins. Squeeze it as hard as you can. You can't put enough pressure to it and make it hurt. And the more it hurts, it lets you know that one of your organs is down. Your heart's down, your liver's down, your bladder's down, your kidney's down. Let me tell you how they did it back in the days. Let me tell you how they did it with the Africans and the people they made slaves in America. They would take the African and put them up on this big post up here, and he's standing up there right before they're hanging him and trying to decide, we're going to hang this slave, we're going to keep him. You know what they do with the African? They open up his mouth. And when they look at your mouth and pull up your gums, if your gums are black and purple, you got kidney, liver, bladder problems. So I want everybody to go like this and pull up your gums. If you don't see pink and you see purple and black and this and that and this and that, you got problems. And it occurs to me sometimes. Sometimes I'll get a little area go dark, and that lets you know you got to clean it up. Okay? They also took the black man and they would look at his balls and his testicle and penis, and the way it hung told them whether he was a strong person or not. If it hung too far, just hanging down, they go, oh no, let that slave go. He's going to die in 6 months. Take him on out. He's not going to be able to do any work for us. They know it just by looking at your balls. They know it just by looking at your gums. So I'm telling people, we can learn things. Also between your toes. Each toe has a web skin between it. And that's exactly how I got started with Princess Bobby Christina. She was in a coma. So I started with pressure points, squeezing as hard as I could. And you know what I did? I squeezed each hand, both hands. No response. Squeeze the right leg. No response. When I start squeezing the left leg, Bobby Christina, boom, kicked. She was dead asleep, but she kicked out so hard. And when she kicked, it was kind of like a mule. I call it like a mule kick, like bam, it's like super hard, right? And I'm right in front of her when she kicked. So when she kicked, the power was coming so strong. I used to be in karate, so I'm good for dodging, okay? But anyway, so when she kicked, I did a little dodge like this, and I started laughing. And Bobby said, Doc, what's so funny? I said, Bobby, I said, I'm laughing because I think I shouldn't have jumped. He said, what do you mean? She would have kicked your mouth out, kicked your teeth out? I said, yeah, I should have stood here like a man and took that kick. And Bobby said, why would you want to do that? I said, then I could tell the world that Bobby Christina woke up from a coma, kicked the doctor's teeth straight out of his mouth with that kind of force. I said, I could have used those 2 teeth and I would have walked around with that gap and been a proud gapping man because Bobby Christina kicked those teeth out, waking up from a coma. Those would have been some blessed 2 teeth. I call that a hallelujah. And when she woke up, she was looking at me really mean and really mad. And Bobby said, he said, my daughter is looking at you. He said, Bobby's looking at you like, she's really upset with you. He said, Doc, what's going on? I said, Bobby, what's going on is your daughter just went under the same equivalency as if I came to you right now and stomped on your toes with some paratrooper steel toe boots. You know what those paratroopers, those old boots with the steel, as if I